We're back, people, and today we're working on film on Storm Duck, Miami Dolphins, undrafted rookie corner. Got his first playing time since like week 5, had like some injuries and, Dolphins got healthy. But Duck was the number 3 corner in this game, played significant snaps versus the Raider. And I thought he looked very, very strong, like played in those significant snaps, looked comfortable, made some tackles, maybe had like 1 or 2 negative plays, but they weren't like huge negatives. I thought he looked comfortable in man-to-man. He didn't really get targeted very often, was staying in the hip pocket. I thought he was doing a good job in zone, being like in the correct position, staying disciplined. It was just the most comfortable game I've seen from him yet. And, he got snaps over Cam Smith in that game, which I think is huge that an undrafted rookie is getting snaps over like a second-year second-rounder. Like, that means they have a lot of faith in him. There he is filling versus the run. Duck, missed this tackle here, but that was like kind of really the only negative. Went for like a few extra yards, that type of thing. But he showed good discipline, good eyes, good feet, in man-to-man. Very, very good to watch, especially like on doing stuff like on the final drive. It was like one of the few times he really got like targeted one-on-one, where like he actually was like just pretty much matched up with the guy. Trey Tucker, number 11 for the Raiders, actually isn't that bad like of a player. Like, he makes some plays for them. Duck had like no problems covering Tucker in this game. He pretty much got matched up with him multiple times. This was like the one time he got targeted. But Dolphins here looks like they're playing quarters to the boundary side. So one-on-one, he's playing quarters. He's got this deep fourth. Tucker's running the out route, and look at Duck, just good job. I think reacts to it pretty quickly, shows a solid transition, and then burst out of that to just get into that hip pocket of Tucker very, very quickly. Ball is thrown out of bounds, but if that's thrown like into Tucker's chest, Duck's there to get that PBU. Looks very comfortable, breaking out of that pretty smooth, very little like wasted movement, that type of thing, which I think is big for Duck. Because, I feel like when he first played, like he played some good plays, but there were some times where I feel like he looked a little bit uncomfortable. But I feel like in this game, he looked pretty much way more comfortable, like on a snap-to-snap basis. Here he's at the bottom. Dolphins playing zone. They go into like, their cover 2 look. He gains depth initially, but look at his eyes find like the mesh point that this receiver's working across. He sees it the whole way. He's kind of like sitting, horizontally. He's playing as like a squat corner right here, so he's squatting on this. Get enough depth to at least, if they try to throw to Myers quickly in this area, that you can potentially close that window. But now he's sitting, waiting for this to come, and then boom, shoot downhill, make that tackle on Tucker. That gets from where Tucker catches it and where Duck's aligned. You think Tucker would probably get a handful of yards. He limits that to like a 1-yard gain, making that tackle. Very, very strong play. Whether it's zone where like you have to like pass things off, find things with your eyes, zone where you kind of get matched up with someone, playing man-to-man in this game too, just straight up one-on-one press man. I thought he played with some physicality. I think Duck has always had some physicality to his game, which is nice to see. Here he is one-on-one to the outside. I think he just, and it was like different types of moves. Like this guy's trying to like hard set him to the outside with like this release and then break inside. And Duck just shuts it down the whole way. Like he was ready for everything. He was not threatened by speed. I feel like Duck in the preseason, you watched him in the preseason, he was very good. He did a great job on a vertical plane. Like they attacked him vertically. Here he just shows patience. Like look how patient he is. Doesn't need to open up the gate, his hips too early. He's staying square, not panicking with his feet. Now he gets opened there. He's still staying upfield shoulder positioning, but not just giving away the inside very easily. And once, they're not even 5 yards down the field, so he knows he can still get hands on him, get physical, and then stay in the hip pocket on that break. Minshew ends up breaking the pocket anyways, but like this is really like just textbook man coverage there from Duck. He looked very comfortable. I thought has the athleticism too to match, because he didn't. I feel like in college he looked better in zone. At least there was just more zone reps to go through. But I was impressed with a lot of the man and the zone match stuff that I saw out of him in preseason, and then his man stuff was better here. Like here's another example. This one where guy gives him a hard shift to the inside. Maybe he freezes a little bit, but he's able to just open up those hips, get right back into the hip pocket of Tucker. And Tucker's got some twitchy and explosiveness to him, and Duck was able to just stick in that hip pocket the whole game on these man-to-man reps. Just very, very comfortable. Open up your hips, get right back into it. pretty much. I think he was not afraid to get threatened downfield vertically because, you know, he's a smaller receiver. When you get those, like, downfield threats like this, that means and they're small, they have to be very accurate. I don't think he was super worried about that with Minshew. So he was kind of daring him to, you know, break underneath on a lot of those reps. Here's another rep one-on-one where he shows some physicality, recovery, ability to get back into the hip pocket of the receiver. And this is a tough rep too because they're kind of stacked on top of each other, and he's playing man-to-man on 82. I believe it's 82. And he has to work around Tucker, so he has to, you know, show awareness, feel for the game to, you know, avoid the rub, the pick right there, and then be a little bit off balance because he had to avoid the first play to then guy getting physical with him gets almost knocked off there, but to then recover, show some balance, and then get back into a decent spot. Like if this ball was thrown to this corner, like Duck was in a position where he could potentially make a play at the catch point. Just like overall pretty impressed with how he felt in man-to-man coverage and didn't play with a ton of panic, which I think a lot of younger corners tend to do. I think for a UDFA, you're feeling pretty good about him. Dolphins play like a cover 3 invert here. So like this the nickel, actually, I believe that's who ends up becoming the deep third. So Duck is the flat defender. But he understands he wants to get, like, he gets upfield, tries to get hands on Tucker, slow it down. Once Tucker takes that like inside release, he knows he's going to get up there. And this is kind of a weakness sometimes of cover 2 is this guy who's working in the flat, you sit down in the flat, they're going to try to hit this wheel route behind because 11's going to take care of Kohu. And if you're the flat defender, sometimes you don't gain enough depth, especially because he's not threatened by anything underneath. It's literally just this guy, and he just understood the route concept and what this guy's trying to do. So Duck bails out of it immediately. He also sees the quarterback and sees his eyes and kind of looks where he's looking down the field. And Duck just feels this play the whole way to get out of it, gain depth. Because that's where Minshew was planning on going the ball. And like you can attack these flat defenders like this, put them in these situations, but Duck shows good football awareness to get back over the top and not allow that to be taken. Which is somewhere we've seen the Dolphins get beat before if their flat defender doesn't gain enough depth and they hit that sort of wheel route behind it from the number 2. And then they get pressure up front, Minshew forced to throw it away. Here's Duck in run support. I feel like he's always been pretty comfortable coming up in run support here. He gets the tackle with like Kohu and Chop. Identifies that he's bouncing to the outside. Just getting involved. I think he plays with some nice physicality. Overall, a decent tackler. We're going to see him miss a tackle later on, but I feel like overall, like it's not usually a big deal for him. Like I wouldn't say he's like the strongest tackler in the world, but he's definitely willing to get involved. Nice to see him involved in run support. That's always helpful from a corner when they can do that, and that's something I think we've seen enough now to know. He kind of gets widened here from the motion pre-snap. Gets widened. Dolphins rotate into a cover 2, so he's your flat defender. Doesn't want to get beat over the top. Like he's playing with more depth. They're trying to keep everything underneath. Sees this guy sink on it. He's able to, you know, get downhill. Was actually in a good position to actually, you know, I think he actually played it fairly well. Like he doesn't want to. He's still got his outside leverage as that squat cloud corner type of guy. You don't want to get beat to the outside. Guy kind of returns to the inside. I feel like Duck closes on it pretty well, and would have, you know, limited to that to like a 3-yard gain, and that would be nice. But kind of just overplays it. Myers makes him miss, and then he misses the tackle. Ends up turning to like an 8-yard gain. So it's not like it's the biggest deal in the world. Like it's a negative for him to miss that tackle, but like this was really the only real negative play I could find from Duck, and he was just very good at man. Another rep versus Tucker, man-to-man coverage. This time on 4th down, Tucker, you know, is trying to do some stuff up the line, but he knows he's more of like a distraction route. But Duck, I just want to watch this for Duck, just the patience. Like I feel like he just looked very comfortable in these reps, just poised, not worried about a lot of the moves. And like Tucker's trying to give him something off the line, but Duck does not fall for it. So that's like a big sign, and they go to the other parts of the field. Feels like, I think the main difference between, like, because we've seen Storm Duck and Cam Smith seeing playing time, is when Cam Smith was on the field, they went after Cam Smith a lot. I feel like when Storm Duck's been on the field, they haven't gone after him like an obscene amount, especially considering he's an undrafted rookie. Those are the guys you typically go after, and they just didn't in this game. Here's another play where like he's covered 2. Probably a play where like you want to see him get more hands on Tucker here, and then kind of force him to release inside. But with that outside release, they hit this quick hitter. between the hook and the flat sort of zone. That's kind of, one where I think he could potentially play it a little tighter and maybe see things feel a little bit better. But overall, I was pretty impressed from what I saw with Duck in this game. Like, for a corner, not really getting, too many actions. When he got like one-on-one shots with players, he won, and I feel like that's what I'm usually looking for like future success, is how you're doing in your one-on-ones. And like typically against Trey Tucker, who is an NFL level receiver, like if you're an undrafted rookie, you're going versus a guy who's like probably a receiver like 4 for most teams. For the Raiders, he's really he's their third option behind Bowers and Myers. But not a bad player to pretty much just shut down, that has some explosiveness, athleticism. So overall, like what I saw from Duck, just looked more comfortable, I think, in the other games that he played. We'll see if he's if Fuller doesn't play next week versus New England. I imagine he'll get some more playing time versus them. He's back from an injury, looks comfortable, man, zone, whatever they were sort of asking for him, filling versus the run, that type of thing. Definitely, I think, just encouraging signs overall there for Storm Duck. So if you guys are there, comment and subscribe to the channel, please.